Heavenly message revealed. The prophetic truth of your divine calling awaits in 7 sacred days. In a quaint English village wrapped in the soft glow of morning light, Emma sat in her usual pew, her heart a tender altar of faith. Each Sunday, she dove deep into sermons filled with hope and love, yet an unsettling emptiness had begun to sprout within her soul. Her faith was unwavering. Still, she longed for an answer, a stirring realization of her divine purpose. The weight of unfulfilled yearning tugged at her heart until one fateful day, a powerful sermon echoed through the church, reverberating like a divine trumpet in her spirit. She knew something was awakening inside her. That evening, her eyes fluttered shut as she knelt in fervent prayer, pleading for clarity and guidance. In the surreal depths of her dreams, an angelic figure appeared, resplendent in heavenly light, radiating peace like shimmering rays on a tranquil pond. "Follow me for 7 sacred days," the voice whispered, "and discover the gifts awaiting you." With that promise etched into her very being, Emma awoke with newfound fervor. The dawn of the first day dawned bright and hopeful, yet when she shared her experience with her family, skepticism dripped from their lips like rain from the eaves. "Just a dream," they said, chuckling. Undeterred, Emma sought strength, kneeling before the majestic statue of Saint Michael. In that sacred moment, she could feel warmth envelop her as she poured her heart into supplication, searching for assurance and wisdom. As the sun rose on the second day, Emma found solace among her prayer group. The gathering buzzed with testimonies of miracles, lives transformed, prayers answered. The room hummed with electric faith as stories filled the air, igniting hope within Emma's heart. "Maybe this is real," she exclaimed, warmth radiating through her. But little did she know, the greatest trial was silently brewing. Day 3 shattered the peace they had found. Her father fell seriously ill, casting a long shadow over their home. As doubt and fear crept into her heart, Emma wrestled with her faith. Did she truly hear God's voice? The burden of her family's well-being weighed heavy, but she clung to her prayers, longing for a divine sign. "Help me see your light, Lord," she cried, her hands trembling as she beseeched the heavens. Each day was a new fight. By the 5th day, the village came together in prayer, an unyielding front against the darkness descending upon Emma. Miracles ignited around her, flickers of hope as the community stood united. But when a local doctor proposed a logical solution to her family's crisis, Emma felt torn. The pull between rationality and faith created a tempest within her. The waves of doubt crashed in, threatening to drown her spirit as the village gathered for a climactic meeting. Tension filled the air like the heaviness before a storm. Emma stood at the center, trembling yet defiant. "This calling burns within me," she proclaimed, hearts perking up as they leant in, sensing the weight of her words. "I need you, we need each other." Just as the crowd's resolve wavered, Emma felt a flicker of divine light in her core, knowing God was working through her struggle. On the 7th day, when hope seemed lost, the heavens opened, and a stunning revelation washed over her. Emma stood on the brink of a profound transformation, aware that her journey had just begun. "This village," she whispered, heart racing, "we are meant for greater things." Above the murmurs of anticipation, a divine whisper pulsed through her heart, urging her to share her miraculous insights. The village held its breath, caught between doubt and faith. Would they believe in the miracle that loomed just out of reach? Emma stood there, poised to change everything. But would they follow her into the divine mystery that awaited? As the sun broke over the horizon on the 8th day, Emma's heart was aflame with emotion. She felt the warmth of the sun on her skin, like a comforting embrace reminding her that God was with her. She stood before her village, an ensemble of faces, some filled with hope, others cloaked in skepticism. The whispers danced in the air, a curious melody weaving through the gathering. "What can she possibly offer now?" one voice murmured. But each skeptical glance only deepened Emma's conviction. "Today we begin anew," she proclaimed, her voice steady and bold, echoing through the hushed crowd. "I have witnessed the divine touch, and I know this is the time for us to awaken." Her words cut through the tension, vibrant with the promise of what could be. But as she spoke, the heaviness of doubt still lingered like a lingering fog. She could sense the uncertainty in their hearts, could almost hear the silent conversations battling for dominance within each soul. What can a simple girl do against the tides of hardship? Echoed in the minds of many. Emma felt a stirring in her spirit, a gentle nudge to let her heart speak freely, unhindered by the worries of others. Just as Jesus called his disciples, I feel a call for all of us. Each of you is invited to explore your own divine gifts. She imagined the faces of the villagers lighting up, as if she was holding a lantern in the dark, illuminating paths yet unseen around her. The faces began to shift. Some nodded slowly, curiosity sparked in their eyes. Others exchanged hesitant glances. But how can we trust what we cannot see? One of her friends ventured, brave enough to voice the fear shadowing the crowd. Ah, my dear friend, Emma replied, the warmth of understanding encompassing her. Faith is not about seeing. It's about believing in the unseen. How many times have we witnessed the flowers bloom in spring after a cold, harsh winter? Hope lies in what we cannot yet perceive. As she spoke, a flicker of life surged through the crowd. Emma pointed to the towering oak tree at the village's edge, its strong branches reaching for the heavens. Look at that tree. Can you see how it sways in the wind? It bends but does not break, for its roots run deep. Like that tree, let our faith root us, strong against the storms life may throw our way. Encouraged, some stepped forward, their hearts beating like drums in unison. Emma could feel the energy shifting, rising like warm air from the earth. The hesitant whispers began transforming into murmurs of agreement. Hope spun threads of connection between her and her neighbors, knitting a tapestry of faith. But just as clarity began to shine, the shadows moved again. Emma's father remained in the grip of his illness, a reality casting a long shadow over their newfound momentum. What's the use of faith if he is still suffering? Emma heard another voice, heavy with disbelief. The question struck her, sending ripples through her heart. Could their faith truly heal? For every miracle of life, was there not also suffering? Torn between hope and despair, she stood at the threshold of doubt, searching for answers in the storm raging inside her. Perhaps, she suggested, her voice softening, faith is not simply about changing our circumstances, but rather how we navigate them together. The village began to breathe in unison, their hearts shifting towards a deeper understanding of faith. Emma realized this journey wasn't just about her calling, but about each person's role in the tapestry of God's divine plan. With her heart warmed but questions still whispering in the back of her mind, she knew they were on the brink of something transformative. How would they choose to respond? Would they step forward into the mystery together? As Emma closed her eyes in prayer, the silence of the gathering held the promise of the unknown, waiting to unfold. What wonders lay beyond the horizon of belief? As she opened her eyes, a divine light flickered, urging her to share more than just words. She took a breath, ready to lead them further into the sacred mystery of their faith. Emma opened her eyes, the radiant light reflecting a profound sense of purpose. The villagers stood before her, their collective breath hanging in anticipation. A moment of divine stillness enveloped them, uniting hearts and spirits. The weight of doubt began to lift, replaced by a flickering hope, a delicate flame waiting to be kindled. Let us seek together, she urged, stepping forward, her hands outstretched like branches welcoming the sky. Let us stand united in prayer for my father, for each other, and for what lies ahead. Her voice mingled with the chirping birds, creating a symphony of yearning as they clasped their hands in fervent prayer. An unexpected warmth surged through the crowd. It was as if the air became lighter, encouraging the villagers to believe that something greater was just beyond their reach. Emma closed her eyes once more, feeling the pulse of faith beat within each individual present. God, hear our cry. We believe in your promise and your power. The villagers began to murmur softly, their prayers reflecting their hearts, some for healing, others for strength, and a few for understanding. Among them, her friend Sarah's voice rose, shaky yet resolute. What if our faith alone is not enough? She implored, eyes glistening with tears. What if we are meant to take action too? Ah, Sarah, Emma replied, the fire in her spirit igniting even brighter at the question. Faith is indeed a call to action. We step out in faith because we are loved and supported. Every prayer, every act of kindness, becomes part of a greater tapestry of hope. Glimmers of understanding flashed through the crowd. They started to realize that faith was not merely a passive belief, but a living, breathing energy manifesting in their actions and responses. Emma felt the shift. She sensed their apprehension transforming into conviction. The more they prayed, the stronger their resolve became. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the village, rustling the leaves above. The towering oak that Emma had mentioned began to sway, dancing under the open sky. Look, Emma shouted, her voice ringing with excitement. Even nature responds to our faith. Let it remind us of our strength and resilience. An elderly man stepped forward, his brows knit with concern. But what if our actions aren't enough? What if our faith falters? His voice trembled with the weight of life's trials. Emma took a deep breath. Sometimes, our strength lies in our vulnerability. It's okay to doubt, for that very doubt can refine our faith. Like gold in the fire, we too will emerge stronger. At that moment, a profound quiet filled the air, replaced by a gain in clarity, as if heaven itself had breathed through them. Emma realized she was not just speaking to them. The divine was guiding her words. We have the power to change not only our lives but the lives of those we touch. Let us serve one another, the elderly, the sick, the weary. This is the action of faith. As she spoke those words, a ripple of affirmation spread through the crowd. Faces brightened, and hands squeezed tighter together. In that sacred moment, uncertainty was recast as the beginning of a divine journey. But then, a sudden hush fell over the gathering. The horizon turned a deeper shade of orange, the sun dipping low, casting a golden hue that felt almost otherworldly. Emma felt a stirring deep within her soul. What lay ahead was about to be unveiled. Will you follow me into the unknown? She called out, the invitation hanging sweetly in the crisp evening air. Will you help me seek the profound truth God has in store for us? In that breathless silence, the promise of something extraordinary lingered on the edges of faith, ready to be revealed. What awaited on this journey? How would they witness the manifestation of their collective hope? The villagers held their breath, caught in the electric charge of Emma's words. Each heart echoed the weight of their collective desire, as if it were a living thing, pulsing in harmony with the earth beneath their feet. Emma could see the flickers of determination spreading among them, a spark aligned with the divine will, igniting within the chilly evening air. Gather close, she urged, scanning the faces before her. Tonight is not merely a gathering of voices. It's a call to our spirits to awaken. We have ventured through shadows, and now we enter the dawn of an answer. God is preparing us. Whispers of excitement danced like a gentle breeze. A local farmer spoke up, his weathered hands trembling with anticipation. What must we do, Emma? How can we prepare ourselves to receive this truth? With a tender smile, Emma reflected on her own uncertain journey. We must ready our hearts. Each of us carries a unique light. In the next 7 days, let us be still, listen deeply, and share our truths with one another. For in doing so, we create a sacred space for revelation. The crowd nodded, and a spirit of unity settled over them. Each villager thought of what that call meant for their own lives: the farmer, the baker, the children playing nearby. In their hearts, they felt a stirring, a longing to elevate beyond their individual struggles and desires. Let us meet daily. Each sunrise shall witness our commitment to love and serve, Emma proposed, her voice steady yet filled with a visionary fervor. First, we will hold prayer at dawn, asking God to open our hearts. Agreement rippled through the gathering as members began to imagine the possibilities. They could feel the tide of hope rising like the tide at the sea, gentle but relentless as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in hues of lavender and gold. Emma called for a moment of silence. The gentle rustling of leaves became the backdrop to their inner reflections. She felt divine presence like a whisper, guiding her thoughts. Then, from the back, a timid yet strong voice broke through the stillness. What if some visions are too much for us to bear? It was Sarah again, her face earnest with concern. What if understanding leads us to places we are too afraid to go? Emma's heart responded with tenderness. Fear is a part of faith, my dear friend. It's in those very shadows that God often reveals his greatest light. If we hold each other close, we shall not walk alone. Together we can face the truth of God's will. The villagers drew closer, recognizing that what lay ahead was a sacred quest, a shared journey fueled by the urgency of their combined faith. The air vibrated with a sense of purpose, pulling each soul into the pulsating heart of their gathering. Emma noticed how the evening's warmth wrapped around them, affirming the beauty of their connection. Let us awaken each morning with a prayer of gratitude for this opportunity, and let us share our hearts as we seek understanding. A chorus of Amen arose from the group, rich with the sweetness of shared conviction. They began to share laughter, worries, and the small miracles of their daily lives, the laughter of children, the surprising bloom of spring flowers, and even the weight of heavy burdens. With candlelight flickering in the twilight, Emma felt her spirit lifted. This was it, the beginnings of something beautiful. Each villager was turning toward new possibilities, preparing to share and receive as darkness fell upon the village and stars peeked through the blanket of night. One question hung heavy in the air, filled with expectation. What wondrous truths will be unveiled in the coming days? Emma's voice, softer now, carried the weight of a promise. With every warming heart and whispered prayer, they stood on the precipice of divine revelation, ready for God to light their path forward. The question lingered at the edges of their dreams. Once the truth emerged, how would it transform them all? As dawn broke over the village, the first rays of sunlight splashed across the dewy grass, and a chorus of birds greeted the day with joyous melodies. Emma rose early, her heart aflame with anticipation. Today was the first of their sacred gatherings, a gentle beckoning toward the divine just waiting to unfold. She stepped outside, taking a moment to breathe in the fresh air. With each inhale, she felt the warmth of hope gather within her. The promise of revelation hung in the air, and the vision of their shared journey ignited her spirit. Each heartbeat echoed the villagers' resolve today. They would take a step into something extraordinary. As the villagers began to gather, Emma noticed familiar faces painted with a mix of eagerness and anxiety. They were ready to share, ready to listen, but apprehension lingered like morning mist. She could see it flicker in their eyes, the whisper of doubt that often accompanies faith. "Good morning, beloved friends." Emma's voice rang out, clear and bright against the soft backdrop of dawn. "Today we stand on holy ground. Let us open our hearts, each of us like a flower in bloom, ready to receive the light." They encircled her, a living tapestry of heartbeats and breathing, hands clasped, ready to reach for something greater than themselves. As Emma led them in prayer, she felt the Spirit move within the group. Each whisper of devotion intertwined, a powerful current of faith lifting them higher. Tears of joy, gratitude, and even fear may come, but remember that the Lord walks with us. "Let us be honest, tell us of your dreams and your shadows," she encouraged softly. Her eyes meeting those of the villagers, point one by one, they began to share. The farmer, with his time-worn voice, spoke of the land's struggle, but also the budding hope he could sense in the earth. A baker confessed her yearning to nourish not just bodies but souls, hoping to create a space for connection through her bread. Even the children, with wide innocent eyes, joined in with aspirations that flowed like streams from hearts so untainted. As the stories unfolded, Emma noticed every word felt magnetic, drawing them closer. They nestled into vulnerability together, discovering that every whisper of worry and every dream echoed similar threads. They weren't alone in their struggles, nor in their hopes. Then Sarah stood, no longer timid but bold, and shared her vision, a dream where they were standing on a mountain, surrounded by light so pure it seemed to shimmer with love. "It felt real, like we're all part of something magnificent," she said, her voice steady, though her eyes glistened with that. A ripple of excitement shimmered through the group. Emma's heart soared. The power of shared vulnerability and collective aspirations enveloped them like a cocoon. nurturing hope and courage. They were being forged anew, held by something greater than human understanding. We must not dismiss our fears or our dreams, Emma reminded them. Both are guiding lights. Let us trust this journey together. What lies beyond these days shall transform us, all of us. The sun mounted higher, casting gentle golden hues through the trees, a heavenly kiss fueling their shared passion. A deeper understanding arose. Each villager realized they were connected through their journey of faith, like threads in a divine tapestry. As they concluded their gathering with another circle of prayer, Emma turned, gazing at the shimmering horizon. What will God reveal next? She pondered quietly to herself, her heart brimming with sacred anticipation. The air stood charged with possibility, and with every prayer whispered, they edged closer to a divine moment. What awaited just beyond the edge of their collective fear and yearning? The answer blended with the dawn's light, hinting at something wondrous yet to come. Stay tuned to see how the next dawn brings clarity and divine revelation. As the sun ascended further into the sky, the village felt alive with a vibrant energy. Emma, still riding the wave of inspiration from their gathering, sensed something stirring within her, like a gentle breeze nudging her toward a deeper understanding. The air was rich not simply with the sense of dew-kissed earth, but also with an electric anticipation, the sign that change was on the horizon. Days flowed into one another, each one marked by the shared stories that connected the villagers more deeply. Every moment of reflection advanced their understanding, but a few did begin to wrestle with unease. Questions fluttered unbidden in their hearts, swirling like leaves caught in an autumn gust. Would their dreams truly see the light? Could their fears transform into the hope they sought? One evening, as the village prepared for their next sacred gathering, Emma noticed Sarah leaning against an old oak tree, her expression distant and troubled. The young girl, once bright and bold in sharing her visions, now appeared cocooned in doubt. Emma approached her gently, sensing the weight of unspoken thoughts. "Sarah, my dear," Emma said softly, "what clouds your spirit this evening? You've been so brave in sharing before. What is on your heart?" A sigh escaped Sarah's lips, trembling slightly, as she looked up at Emma. I keep feeling that I need to do something important, something big. But what if I'm not enough? What if it's just a dream that leads to disappointment?" Her voice held a vulnerability that echoed through the quiet space. Emma reached for Sarah's hands, feeling the warmth of her spirit. "Sweet child, the dreams planted in your heart are not random whims. They are seeds sown by the Creator. They may grow slowly or fiercely, but they are yours to nurture. Remember, even flowers do not bloom overnight." Emma's words fell over Sarah like a gentle rain, washing away some of the doubt. Yet, something deeper tugged at Emma's heart too. Could she bear the weight of what the village truly needed? Were her dreams a reflection of divine calling or mere wishful thinking? That night, Emma sat awake, her mind dancing with the stories of each villager. Their hopes intertwined with her own, creating a deeper web of faith. She picked up her journal, pen resting on the page as she penned her reflections. "Lord," she wrote, "what do you seek to reveal within us? How do we transform our fears into blessings?" As she closed her book, Emma felt the air shift. The wind whispered, carrying promises of the unknown. A light flickered just beyond her window, a glow that danced lightly on the edges of her vision. Heart racing, she stepped outside. The moon hung large and luminous overhead, bathing the village in serene silver light. With each step, the glow intensified, shimmering like an invitation. A sense of urgency washed over her. It felt as if the light was summoning her deeper into the woods. It was unusual, yet beautifully inviting. Could this be the revelation that awaited us? Emma mused, her heart racing with a mix of trepidation and courage. She glanced back at the sleeping village, each soul nestled in their dreams, unaware of the calling that stirred in the silence. Turning back toward the luminescent beacon, she took a breath and stepped forward into the unknown, feeling the warmth of divine reassurance. The path ahead was uncharted, yet the promise of discovery lay just beyond the whispers of the trees. What awaited her in that enchanted light? Would she uncover new truths for herself and her people? As she moved onward, her heart swelled with possibility, filled with longing to understand the divine message that had begun to unfold. The deeper Emma ventured into the woods, the more the light shimmered, almost as if it recognized her presence. Each step she took felt both familiar and strange, like walking a path she had never seen but somehow deeply knew. The gentle rustle of leaves whispered secrets, nurturing the anticipation that swelled within her. She reached a small clearing, awash in silver moonlight. The glow revealed a simple altar adorned with wildflowers that shimmered with an unearthly light. The beauty took her breath away, and she could hardly process the sight before her. The air seemed to hum with life, pulsing with the same rhythm as her heart, calling her to be still to listen. "Is this your doing, Lord?" she breathed, the question spilling into the silent night, as if her voice alone could summon an answer. In that moment, she felt the weight of her doubts lift, temporarily eclipsed by a flicker of understanding. It was as if the flowers responded to her, their petals reaching towards her, each one glowing softly, as if life coursed through every stem. Though she was enveloped by stillness, she could sense movement in the very fabric of creation, urging her to embrace her role within it. "Sarah," Emma whispered, remembering the young girl's fragile spirit. "Could it be that we are all called to this light? Each burden we carry, it may be connected? Perhaps, together, our dreams can find wings." The realization brightened her soul, and a smile danced across her face. Emma's yearning desire to help her village ignited anew, awakening a transformative vision. She imagined how Sarah and all the others could join her in this sacred space, and suddenly the burdens they carried felt lighter. What if they came together in prayer and reflection, weaving their dreams into a beautiful tapestry of collective hope? As she stood there lost in thought, a soft breeze swept through, carrying the scent of earth mixed with an unnameable sweetness. The flowers shivered then, and the light pulsed like a heartbeat. Emma took a step closer to the altar, heart pounding with purpose. She knelt down, placing her hands on the cool earth, grounding herself in this extraordinary moment. "Lord, how do we transform these silk threads of fear into fabric of faith?" she pleaded, her heart yearning for clarity. Silence enveloped her once more, but this time it felt filled with expectancy, drenched in divine hope. Gradually, a vision began to take form, a flowing river of light, carrying with it the burdens of the villagers, washing them away in waves of color. Emma envisioned them gathered hand in hand, each one releasing fears and doubts, sending them downstream where they would dissolve into nothingness. Freedom poured in as new dreams blossomed, each heart echoing with a gentle affirmation of life. Emma's spirit danced with excitement, yet a pang of uncertainty threaded through her mind. "But how do I begin, Lord? How do I inspire them?" She focused on the altar, the wildflowers leaning closer as if they were encouraging her. Then, as if in response, the flowers unfurled further, revealing a delicate scroll nestled among their roots. Emma gently grasped it, the parchment warm in her hands. She opened it carefully, her eyes widening as words began to form. These sacred words felt imbued with a purpose beyond her understanding. "Do not fear the unknown, for within it lies the essence of your calling." Her heart raced again, a beacon of possibility illuminating her thoughts. The weight of responsibility on her shoulders expanded, filled now with a challenge and promise weighted but uncontainable. Emma felt a subtle shift in the air, as if unseen hands had woven a thread together, pulling her closer to the truth. She could not ignore it. A powerful tug urged her to gather the villagers, to share everything she had received. What miracles awaited them when they came together? Would her voice echo as a catalyst of faith? As rays of new dawn began to creep into the clearing, Emma marveled at the scroll's message, knowing it would lead to their next step. Yet the divine mystery of it all remained tantalizingly incomplete. What awaited their first gathering? The first rays of dawn filtered through the leaves, casting gentle patterns of light and shadow across Emma's uplifted face. The morning air was crisp, alive with the songs of birds awakening to the new day. She tucked the scroll close to her heart, feeling its warmth radiate through her, a reminder of her purpose. "How can I present this to them?" she wondered aloud, her voice barely breaking the morning stillness. Emma stood, gazing around the clearing that had bestowed upon her such divine promise. The wildflowers swayed softly as though encouraging her thoughts to take flight, that as she walked back through the woods, the path seemed brighter, infused with a grace that urged her on. Each step felt like an affirmation from the universe, a voice of hope whispering that today was a day of reckoning. Yet a flicker of doubt wove through her heart. What if they don't believe? What if they feel as lost as I once did? But something inside her stirred. A deep, unwavering truth pushed through the cracks of her uncertainty. Sent faith about stepping into the unknown? Sent hope found when we embrace the light? Her fingers brushed against the scroll, and an inexplicable peace settled over her. Once she reached the village, she could see the day unfolding. Smoky tendrils from chimneys danced into the sky while neighbors exchanged greetings. The everyday scene surged with life, yet she felt out of place, as if she contained a secret that could shift the very fabric of their lives. "Emma," a familiar voice called. It was Mr. Jenkins, the village baker, his arms draped in flour. "You've been gone quite a while. What have you been up to?" "I found something," she replied, taking a breath. Every moment carried the weight of her mission, and she could feel her heart pounding as she stood before him. "I learned something sacred." His brow furrowed with curiosity. "What's that?" She hesitated, the enigmatic words of the scroll nagging at her lips. "It's not easy to explain, but it's important. We all have burdens we carry, and I believe we can come together to find healing." Jenkins stared at her, and a flicker of understanding brightened his expression. "You're talking about us gathering? To pray?" "Yes." The word tumbled from her, an explosion of hope. "I can see it, a river of light, washing our fears away. If we join hands in faith, we can lift each other up." His eyes sparkled with excitement. "Could transform everything, Emma. But what do we need? How do we start?" Just as uncertainty crept back, an image filled her mind: the altar, the wildflowers glowing in the moonlight. "We must honor this moment. Gather everyone at sunset. I'll share what was revealed to me. They must. Then I'll help," he promised, a fire igniting in him. Word spread quickly throughout the village, and friends and neighbors began piecing together their day, all with eager anticipation of the evening. When the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the gathering, Emma felt the weight of expectation settle upon her. What if she faltered? Would the words flow as vividly as they had in the woods? She breathed deep, summoning the peace she felt moments prior. As villagers began to find their places in the clearing, Emma's heart quickened. They arrived with expressions of trust in her. Sarah's fragile face was there among the crowd, and Emma knew she wasn't just leading a prayer, but something much more profound. With the sun melting into twilight, she stepped forward, ready to unveil her heart. "Welcome, my dear friends. Something beautiful awaits us tonight." And just then, as the first stars twinkled in the darkening sky, a sudden gust of wind swept through the clearing, carrying with it the fragrant scent of the wildflowers from the altar. The atmosphere hummed with energy, as if the universe held its breath in anticipation of what was to unfold. Would they find the light she had discovered? Would this gathering spark something far greater than they dared dream? With hearts open and expectant, they prepared to embark upon this unknown journey. Together, what wondrous truths would they uncover? The air felt electric, charged with unspoken possibilities. Emma stood at the center of the clearing, her pulse mingling with the whispers of the wind. Her heart thumped like a drum, resonating with the rhythm of the gathering crowd. Faces glowed dimly in the evening light, shadows flickering as candles were lit with trembling hands, an intimate ritual woven into the fabric of faith. Tonight, we come together, not just to pray, but to awaken. Emma's voice soared gently, trembling with emotion, yet strong enough to cradle their hopes. Each of us has walked our own dark paths, carrying burdens that seem too heavy to bear alone. But together we can find healing. Murmurs rippled through the group, a mix of doubt and curiosity. Emma felt their energies, like complementary threads pulling together a tapestry. The soft flicker of the candles danced in their eyes, an invitation from something beautiful beyond comprehension. Above, the stars began to twinkle more vividly, as though reflecting the flickering excitement in the villagers' hearts. Sarah, standing close, caught Emma's gaze, her eyes brimming with hope. "What should we do, Emma?" she asked, a hint of a tremor in her voice. "Breathe," Emma replied, smiling at her friend. "Let our breaths unite, each inhale drawing us closer to divine presence, each exhale releasing the fears that hold us. We need to believe in the miracles before us." As they began to breathe together, the rhythm flowed through the village like a wave. One by one, they took a deep breath, a collective act of faith that filled the space with warmth. Emma closed her eyes, feeling a deep connection with everyone around her, the very act transcending mere physical presence. "Now let us share our burdens," she said, her voice steady. "What weighs on your heart? Speak it aloud, and watch it transform into light." Timidly, one villager stepped forward. "I worry for my children's future, the uncertainty, the fear." His voice cracked, and the crowd seemed to lean in, absorbing his vulnerability. "I feel lost and alone," another added. "The world feels cold, and I'm struggling to find my way." Emma felt the palpable weight of their words. "Together we can lift each other. God has woven our stories to bring us to this very moment. Each struggle binds us tighter. Let that be our strength." Quietly, the group shared their fears. With each confession, a sacred space was formed. Tears spilled freely, laughter mingled with heartfelt cries, and the air grew thick with something vibrant and alive. The wind kicked up again, a gentle embrace swirling through them, and for a brief moment, Emma felt a heaviness lift. "We must now open our hearts to the light," she said. "The scroll I found speaks of healing, blessings yet to be discovered. Each of us has a divine purpose. When united, we become conduits of grace." As murmurs of agreement filled the air, a soft glow began to surround them. It shimmered gently, washing over the villagers, bathing them in an ethereal light. Emma felt tears of joy prick her eyes. "Can you feel it?" she urged. They nodded, whispers of awe riding the cold evening air. A sacred moment unfolded, each villager grasping the hands of those beside them, threading their lives into the tapestry Emma envisioned. "And now, let the light flow." Emma raised her hands. "In faith, let us create a ripple that spreads beyond our boundaries. Let love and hope dissolve the chains that hold us." And as they lifted their voices in harmony, a chorus blossomed, a melody of purest devotion and yearning for connection. Was it the break of dawn that was approaching, or was it a new awakening for each soul present? But amid the rising tide of their harmonies, Emma sensed an even deeper stirring. A voice echoed from far within, soft yet insistent, urging her to look beyond the stars. What awaited them after tonight's revelations? Could there be challenges ahead that would test their newfound strength? "Hold tight, my friends," Emma declared. "Our journey has just begun. What lies in wait beyond this night?" The dawn of the 8th day broke over the village, draping it in golden light as if the heavens themselves were rejoicing. Emma, still buoyed by the electric energy of the previous night, moved through the village with a heart full of purpose. Each face she encountered glowed with a newfound light, eyes clear and vibrant. She felt an unbreakable bond with them, strengthened by their shared prayers and confessions. They had sowed seeds the night before, and now it was time to watch them flourish. The villagers had rallied behind her call, uniting under the promise of divine purpose. They gathered in the clearing as the sun rose, the warmth spilling over them like goddess embrace. Emma stood before them, a sacred smile illuminating her face. Hearts were now open, waiting like fertile soil for the seeds of faith and hope. "Good morning, beloved family," Emma called out, her voice ringing with melody. "This is our moment. Stand with me as we embrace the gifts we uncovered together." As they clasped hands, the familiar aura of unity filled the air. Emma took a deep breath, allowing the divine tranquility to envelop her spirit. Just as the sun rises each morning, so too does our faith. Let us rise together. The villagers nodded, their hearts buoyant. Emma began to share the scroll's message. It detailed a vision of healing that extended beyond their individual burdens. Today, we are called not just to receive but to act. She emphasized those words, letting them resonate through the crowd. What are we meant to do, Emma? A voice called out, clutching her heart's curiosity. It was Sarah, the girl whose dreams had once been tinged with doubt. Now, her face shone with purpose, a reflection of the hope Emma had ignited. We must each offer our unique gifts, Emma replied, her tone brightening. Each one of you is a vital stroke on the canvas of God's masterpiece. The baker, the farmer, the children, we will blend our talents into something that glorifies God's love. Excitement rippled through the crowd as Emma's words painted the vision vividly. Imagine a day where we unite our efforts. The baker creating bread to nourish the hungry, the farmer distributing fresh produce, the children gathering to bring joy through songs and laughter to those in need. Her words sparked laughter and cheers, the realization of their capability flooding the atmosphere. Yes, together, we possess the strength to transform lives within and beyond our village. Emma's heart danced with the thrill of possibility. But then, doubt crept into the fringes once more. An elderly woman stepped forward, her eyes heavy with wisdom. And what if we fail, Emma? What if our collective strength isn't enough? Emma met her gaze, remembering her struggles. Beloved matriarch, sometimes our purpose journeys through trial. In our stepping out, we may stumble, but just as a child learns to walk, we forge ahead together. And what matters is not our perfection but our willingness to try. Around the circle, nods of acknowledgement echoed through their community. Emma felt a surge of encouragement. I feel it in my spirit. Friends, with God, even our smallest actions stir waves of change. It begins with faith. The atmosphere thickened, charged by the palpable energy of connection. And as Emma felt the pressure of expectation shift into tender resolve, they collectively spoke, hearts driven. We will do this together. We are ready. With that declaration, the villagers started to move, breaking from the circle. They traded enthusiastic ideas, planting the seeds for community initiatives. The air thickened with joy, laughter, and hope, a beautiful tapestry woven of myriad colors. Emma stepped aside to watch. Her heart swelled with gratitude. They were not just a collection of individuals anymore. They had become a living embodiment of faith, a family united, like currents flowing into a vast ocean. She envisioned lives transformed, burdens lifted, and a harmony that would echo far beyond their shores as evening approached. Emma prepared for another gathering, a moment to bring everything full circle, to celebrate their commitment and the miracles already taking root among them. The villagers would testify to the power of connection, the potency of faith united. That gathering, under the twilight sky, would mark a divine milestone, where fears surrendered to the light and courage was born anew. Emma felt an inexplicable peace wrap around her, calming every worry. God had indeed spoken, and his voice resonated through her, empowering them all to emerge brighter than ever before. On this heartfelt night, under the sparkling stars and unfathomable sky, as she stood surrounded by her beloved companions, Emma knew they were on the brink of something momentous. Together, they would step fully into their divine calling and witness the manifestation of God's purpose in their lives. It was a journey meant for all, and they would traverse it together, hearts alight with faith. That as this chapter comes to a close, hold this moment close to your heart. Subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let the light of faith shine brighter. Comment your reactions and testimonies about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second to share. Only true servants of God understand the importance of lifting each other through these simple actions.